Sorry I'm late, everybody. Appreciate you sticking by me. Had an issue come up I had to deal with right quick. Let's see here. I got Tamara, Little Boots. Yeah, that's about it right now, looks like. But I'm sure there's more, but that's in the chat anyway. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate y'all coming in on short notice. Had a few things going on today, so this afternoon I won't be around most likely. So I wanted to go ahead and try to get one in here. I know I've had some requests from certain people to do a specific live on or video on the border, or what's left of it, if you will. Good morning, Shift, Little Boots, Tamara. But I wanted to do that because it is such a hot topic right now. It's been for years, we all know that, but um, my gosh, what a horrible situation that we're in and facing from what seems to be all sides. Hi, Rise and Shine. Good to see you. How's things across the water? Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, Texas Prepped. But boy, I'll tell you, hey, Kicking It. Hey, Alan. Y'all hear me okay? Cool. Thank you. Um, you know, something we've been dealing with for a long time, of course, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. But, the border situation is clearly an engineered vice, if you will, to further exacerbate our complete what I'll call re-engineering of America. Hey, choices, places, people, thanks for coming in. News with Z-Man. Hey, thanks for showing up. News, good to see you. All right, Fort Bliss. All right. Hey, Cashew. Anyway, thanks for all you showing up and coming in. But clearly the lack of border enforcement is to, it drives a certain, other another narrative or narratives, if you will, as far as re-engineering of the country. And obviously, the intent, I think, of open borders is of course twofold, if not threefold. First of all, to completely and continually destabilize the United States economically, morally, and then of course physically via crime, via a pandemic spread, via all sorts of other things, drugs, infiltration, prostitution, child trafficking, etc. It's sick. And and I'll go ahead and call out the party that's mostly responsible, and that's the left. And the fact is that they continually try to they try to take the moral high ground by saying we have to care for all people. We have to provide for all people, even people that are coming to this country, because we're a beacon of freedom and this and that. And of course, that's what they say, and that's their propaganda narrative. But we all know what the truth is that they want to destabilize the dollar. They want to, again, physically dominate the country. They want to, of course, through this, gain voters and, further become more of a necessary evil to, we the people, because, we're in need of what they provide. And it's not that, I mean, I've known this for a long time, and many of you have known this for a long time. It's really not complaining, but it's more of a calling out to the people that voted for these morons to get the point and say, look what you've done to the country. Look what your selfish, you know, selfish attitudes and philosophies have brought on the rest of us. And make no mistake, both parties are greedy, and I think both parties have a certain level of corruption that they live by. Right? I mean, the birds of a feather flock together. Right? So we have to ask our question. We have to ask the question or questions of why do they do this? Why does the government, even though some of them talk about being against the open border, why do they do this? You know, the question again is, why do they do this? Why do they do these things? What benefit is it to the country, and what benefit is it to them to have these open borders? Hey, ETP, good to see you. And so I think, here's a couple, I've already mentioned a few of them. To me, it's about, obviously power, because if they can get these people to, vote with them, i.e., the illegal immigrants that coming in, if they can somehow, register them to vote, or I don't know, maybe they'll just remember to check the D mark every time they go vote. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But obviously, power and the control of votes is one avenue. Greed, obviously. There's no telling how many of these politicians are, I would say, one, exposed, and two, compromised by the cartels. We've all known forever that the cartels, will obviously grease the skids of politicians, because in Mexico the cartel is the government, and it looks to me like that's the same thing that's happening here. You've got one pretty, or say half the country's politicians are on the take and or compromised, or corrupt, if you will. I have no doubt about that, and I'm really not excluding or excusing either party. To me, they're all part of the same ilk. Greed is going to equal corruption, right? Because it's all about how much you can get, and make it seem like you are for the people and doing the people's business, when really all you truly care about is, one, staying in that position, and two, getting as much profits out of it as you can. All right. And I know that most of y'all probably know this stuff, but the fact is that open borders is going to further exacerbate our problems. Even if you're not on a border state, trust me, they're coming, and they've already come, a lot of them, and they're going to keep coming. But this Title 42 thing ending, I'm sure you've all heard about it. It's going to further drive the things that we've been discussing, which is power, corruption, greed, control, etc. Criminal activity. The child trafficking thing is just totally unacceptable and out of control, and it's so cruel and evil that there's no other way to deal with the perpetrator of this, but to me, except execution. I think that's the only thing that's going to solve, that problem. I don't think that pedophiles can be rehabilitated. I think the only option is to, either execute them and or lock them away forever, never see the light of day again. I'm going to check in with the chat here. Hey, Bonnie, it's good to see you. Hey, ETP. Hey, Pamela. Anyway, I appreciate all y'all showing up. I know seems like some of you can't get in at certain times of the day or night, so I just wanted to change it up a little bit and do a morning live and try to focus on again the important topic of the border. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I'm really sick and tired of listening to uh, Potato spew his dribble and nonsense and just regurgitate the talking points of his handlers. I've got really better things to do with my time, and it's so sad that it's funny, you know. But again, the border crisis. You talk about sleeper cells. You're not going to sit here and tell me that a lot of these young men, military age men that are coming into this country, you can watch the videos on YouTube or the news if you want to. Watch these buses rolling into towns across America. They're plain white buses, basically probably government funded or government contracted buses that um, this roll up with no markings, etc. And they all these military age males get off of them. You're not going to sit here and tell me that some of these people aren't cartel members. There's no way in hell. They're gang members, a lot of them, and they're all about establishing networks and tentacles throughout the United States and creating a further networking of corruption and criminal activity through the United States of America. Trust me, this is going to involve terrorism. It's going to involve all sorts of narco trafficking, human smuggling, etc. The whole thing is about to be, I would say, irrecoverable. That's my opinion on it. And I'm a former, member of law enforcement and a veteran, and I can tell you right now that there's a couple things that um, you know you can do besides the obvious of prepping, which is obviously get your medications. Um, just think about if you weren't really able to get out for 3 to 6 months, if you weren't really able to leave your home and go anywhere, substantially to do anything or to go get anything, how would you fare? Think of it like that. That's kind of the way I look at it. Talking about food, medication, water, freedom seeds, but obviously things to secure your home, secure your vehicle, get your security apparatus up, get your antennas up and pay attention to everything that you do everywhere you go. I mean, there's people getting jacked in broad daylight. There's people getting their groceries robbed from them in parking lots as soon as they come out of the store. There's women getting their jewelry robbed, and of course the powers that be will want to blame the victim and say, well, you shouldn't have been wearing that flashy jewelry to begin with. So you can see that the tables are turning, right, to favor the criminal and to tamp down Americanism or freedom loving people and things that we do because we are free. And I'm sure that's going to start, showing up around the world as well. Absolutely, Bonnie's. Totally, it's a war. But just wait till they further get their roots planted from a networking perspective. They've already got people here. There's no way, I'm telling you, from a trafficking perspective, there's no way that they're running this thing completely from another country. It's being run from right here in the United States. You've got the corruption of federal law enforcement. I'm going to go ahead and just say it. Just because I was a member of law enforcement doesn't mean that I agree with everything they do. And it's like I said before, I will always support law enforcement until they give me a reason not to. And I'll tell you what, these federal agencies, especially the three-letter ones, especially the one that starts with an F, and by that I mean the FBI, they got some real corruption problems within, and they need to deal with it, especially at the top. And, to me, of course, we could have foreshadowed this, right? It's not surprising. It's not surprising that they, misplaced Hunter's laptop. Right. Okay. Sure. You know, they want to go kick in Roger Stone's door at 3 a.m. with the cameras rolling. They want to do all that. Stick a M4 in a 80-year-old man's face in the middle of the night and take him down. A tactical raid. That they can't hold on to Hunter's laptop. Sure, right. This is how stupid that they think we are. Okay, they don't care, and I've said it before. They don't care what you think. Just like Potato going overseas and having all these, personal statements they call them. When he talked about uh, Vlad being replaced or can't remain in power. Of course, they're trying to spin that and say, well, he just said that as a private citizen, not as president. I mean, this is how stupid they think we are. Okay, and I don't claim to be a farmer's son. Good to see you. I don't claim to be a purveyor of everything political or know politics inside and out, but pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. All right. And it's not about just complaining and bitching all the time. It's about calling stuff out that is wrong and standing your ground. And one thing that we could always count on, back in the day was the impartiality of law enforcement. Of course, you've always had bad cops. I'm not saying that there's haven't been bad cops. There always have been, right? But I like I said, I'm going to support law enforcement until they give me a reason not to, and some of them are giving me a reason not to. And I'm not talking about the cop out there that's patrolling the streets necessarily, but people that have real damage power, which is the feds. They have corrupt judges, they have corrupt prosecutors, they have corrupt regional and what we call SAC, special agent in charge of certain offices, right? You have corruption at the top, and they all got stuff on each other. Okay, this whole child porn thing and this laptop, I'm telling you, it's got to be deep. It's got to be so deep. This like they call it, the laptop from hell. There's got to be so much damning material on that device that I'm sure when they say they can't find it, I'm sure that it's been completely incinerated at this point. I would expect nothing less from the feds at this point. When they set up 45, when they came after him because, who does he think he is trying to drain the swamp? That really told you all you needed to know. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. Oh, it's all good, Cold War. Thanks for coming in. It's all good. No, everybody's busy doing the things. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. But it's just a real shame, and I've been saying it a lot lately, and I know everybody else is saying it too. And people jump around and go from topic to topic and this and that, and everybody here is grown, and everybody has their own needs and methods to their madness, right? When it comes to prepping. But I'm just going to tell you this: prep your asses off. Whatever preps you got to go get or get done or put in the ground or hide or whatever the case may be, the whole shebang, prep your asses off. And at some point, at some point, it's going to come crashing down. Oh yeah, yeah, Alan, I saw that. Hill's getting her. getting fined financially, and you know what they'll do is, um, you know, they allowed, you know, Hunter to pay his back taxes. I think $1 million tax bill or something like that, which is probably just hush money. Well, there was the assistant director of the FBI that was in front of Congress, I think, a day or two ago, and Gates asked him where the laptop was, and he said, "I have no idea where it is. It's not in our possession. Basically, we don't know what happened to it." But I, you know, I expected nothing. I expected that to happen, but not in such a brazen, you know, carefree, flippant way. It's just sickening. But folks, I hate to say it like this, and it's just the, I think it's just a realization that we have to come to, and it's not fear mongering, it's not scare tactics, it's not doom and gloom, it's just reality, and that is the country that you once knew is gone, and it's been gone. The days of Reagan, Kennedy, not that they were angels, but those days, they're gone. Hey, copycat. I'm not saying that it can't be rebuilt, but what I'm saying is that the days that you grew up in, if you're my age of 50 or over, the days that you grew up in and with the people that you grew up with, the good folks that were, you know, moral and caring and about, you know, country, God and country and their fellow man. I mean, those days are over as a whole. We still have our individual people that, you know, as individuals, we, a lot of us still feel that, and that's great to keep that alive. But the country as a whole, I mean, at least 50% of them don't feel like we do. Hey, Bella. And you're right, Farmer Son, it is evil. It's evil and greed, corruption, power mongers. I mean, it's all about power. It's all about greed. They'll claim to have the moral high ground on a particular situation or over a particular area, but they're the purveyors of corruption. They completely took the United States government model and turned it in, bastardized it, and turned it into their narrative of power, greed, and corruption under the guise of freedom. It's very, very, very true statement, Rise and Shine. And you know what? There's a lot of enemies of America inside and out, and a lot of you know, purveyors of the demise of America that will probably get in on it without ever having to fire a shot. And like I told a lot of people before that have kids, believe me, I'm not the best parent in the world. I'm not the best grandparent in the world. But you need to grab your kids or your grandkids and you start telling them the truth. And you need to start trying to right the ship with the kids because they're going to grow up and are growing up. Remember, they're at school, you know, more than half the day during the week, right? So they're getting a dose of fantasy land for 7, 8 hours a day drilled into their head. And so it's important that you know, at least try to level the playing field with regard to reality when they get home and during the evenings. Hey, Bushcraft, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Of course, Danielle. Now, I'm not advocating. Believe me, I'm not advocating giving up here, people. I'm certainly not advocating to not pray or rely on the good Lord. Right? Of course not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is people need to. It's like trying to equate it with something. It's like knowing that you've got $0 in your bank account and knowing that, you know what, you might have been stolen from. Maybe somebody took all your money. Maybe somebody hacked your bank account. But you know what? It doesn't mean you don't go out and work and get more money, right? So it's it is sad. It is aggravating. It's makes me mad as hell, to know that, just look at what they're trying to corrupt these kids with, all the sexual stuff at a young age. And thank God for Ron DeSantis for standing up and saying, hell no, we're not doing all that. The evil. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, there you go, Bill. That's good. That's good, William. That's good. It's always all different ways to serve. Yep, we got you. But we don't give up. I'm not saying that, but we do have to come to the realization that, look, it's for real, people, and it's not going to just change back to the way things were without a fight and without standing up and without changing the minds and hearts of other people. Exactly, Pamela. But this border thing, y'all, you got to ask yourselves why. You know, why would the so-called leader of a country, the country who supposedly leads the free world, why would we be okay with open borders? Why would that government be okay with open borders? Because I guarantee you that they wouldn't be doing it without benefit to them personally. It's got not a damn thing to do with the United States of America. Oh, not at all, Danielle. I don't think that at all. No, I don't. I don't think that at all. Not at all. Don't even think about that. But I just want people to know where I'm coming from, and that is, look, I'm not saying give up. I'm not saying don't believe in what you believe. I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, unless we do something about it, it's not going to change on its own. It's going to actually get worse. But no, no offense taken at all. I appreciate the comments, and everybody's got an opinion on here, and I want people to, express their opinions on this channel. I don't always agree with everything, but that's okay. I don't have to. But that's the difference between, you know, uh, channels here and there. Is that it's not all about me. I just want people to get the information, and I want people to spread the word, and I want people to do what they need to do to basically insulate themselves from a corrupt government with ulterior motives that don't benefit you. As a free person, as a sovereign person, this government and the way that they implement things is not a benefit to you as a sovereign person. If you want to be a slave to the system, if you want to be a person with your hand out, feed me. If you want to be a needy person, if you want that, then you'll be okay with what this government's doing, because it's all being set up to be the handlers of the people, and they all do it under the guise of freedom. They don't care about you. and they don't care about me. All they care about is your taxes and you bending the knee. That's what they care about. It's like with COVID, and I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it probably till they shut my channel down. Is that this government needs mail-in voting, and they'll have any crisis, they will enact any power that they can that to enact mail-in voting and have that alive because they have to have mail-in voting. If they can count the votes, they can control which direction this country goes. Yeah, and people, I'm not a big, I'm not a purveyor or I'm not going to pontificate about, wear your mask, this and that, and heavy-handed stuff like that. But what I'm going to tell you it is for your own safety and your own family safety, and it crosses even into the radiological possibilities down the road. Go get some N95 masks. They're out there right now. Okay. Don't go get the surgical masks. I'm not walking around with a mask on like that. You know what I'm saying? But the N95, the true N95 masks, not the KN95s, but the N95s, in my area at least, are readily available. I would go grab a box or two of those and keep them on hand. I'm sure Lee will agree with that. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Yep. I was able to go grab a bunch of N95s while they were cheap the other day, and I'm glad I did because there's getting ready to be a run on that stuff. The pandemics aren't going to stop. Okay, it's all part of the process. Yeah, SIGs, the SIN items, yeah. The SIN items will be barter material, that's for sure. But, I have barter, like for instance, I love my Russian vodka, and I'm not gonna dump it out, and I'm not gonna protest it and this and that. I mean, that's a commodity just like anything else. But I do have the cheap stuff to trade. Cigarettes are kind of hard to keep fresh, but I guess copycat. If you're desperate, you'll smoke what you can get. Yeah, go to Walmart. There you go, Lee. Good stuff. Hell yeah. As far as the preps go, I was able to. So I recently did a telehealth visit with my physician, and was able to get a year prescription for my meds, regular meds, and he gave me it for a whole year. So I've been, I'm sitting on honestly about 6 to 9 months of medication right now for myself, and that's just my prescription meds. So don't forget that stuff, y'all. With everything happening across the pond, and like Alaska Prepper said, this thing's getting ready to get really dicey on the supply front. One thing I would say on the SIGs copycat is that I think SIGs are kind of hard to store to keep fresh. Maybe if you food savored them, I guess maybe, or shrink wrapped them or whatever, it might work. But I mean, I guess if you're desperate, you'll you know buy what you got to. Oh, there you go. Nice, Mary. Nice. Ugh, How do you do it, farmer son? Dang, son. Yeah, I sort of wish I would have done some of that too. But I don't know. I'll have to check into it. Probably need to get myself a OD or a DO rather. Um, More of the natural stuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could give up coffee. I mean, I guess I could if I have to, but man, I'll be one unhappy son of a bitch. I can tell you that. Put me on the front lines if that happens. Uh, I wouldn't slack up on the freedom seeds either, y'all. The lead is going to be, I think, due to the supply shortages, worldwide, and there's so many different materials that go into making, uh, freedom seeds that it's probably going to start at least getting up as far as costs go to the public, but even materials might be difficult to get. So production may slow, and then of course inventory will soon follow. But with the amount of people coming across this border that are sick, y'all, it's inevitable that people coming through that border, the ones especially that they don't know about, they are going to be bringing with them all kinds of stuff, and N95s are going to be real valuable, and I think there's obviously going to be another run on it. So grab them if you can. Any capacity. If you can get them free, great. If you have to pay for them, pay for them. But I would keep a supply of N95 masks, legit N95 masks on hand. However you get your hands on them. Hey, chicken noodle. Yeah, I gotta have my coffee. That's for sure. Like I said the other day, I was able to find some. I like the stronger variety coffees, and I was able to find some of that. Maxwell House makes a powerful, caffeine coffee called Max, I think, and I was able to get 3 boxes of those pods, K pods for there were 24 pods for $5. They were on clearance at Walmart. They weren't crushed or opened or anything like that. They were just, I guess they're getting rid of that product line. There were 3 boxes, and I grabbed them all. I usually don't grab the last box of anything, but I grabbed those. I'll tell you something else I've been stocking up on. That's canned fruit. All right, see you, Danielle. I've been getting canned fruit because produce sucks. You know, it really does. It's such a joke. I mean, the only stuff I can get to keep longer than 3 days, like as far as lettuce goes, is like that, organic uh, butter lettuce and stuff like that. And it's very expensive. Hey Tim, good to see you. Hey Dragonflies. Um, the produce just sucks. So I've gone to Of course, I'm going to buy it up until I can't buy it anymore. The good stuff that I can find. But canned fruit, dried, freeze dried fruit. I've been able to find some. Actually, I found some chunky mixed fruit in the cans for 48 cents a can at Wally World the other day. And I know they've got a shelf life, so they say, but whatever. Also some canned potatoes. And of course, I've got all the potato flakes, and all that stuff. Yeah, and I did grow some. I've got some. Hey, just listening. I don't think I've seen you in here before, but thanks for showing up. Yeah, I started my seeds too a little bit late, but I got them in about a week ago, and I've got them in pots starting out. And like I said, I threw some. I made a couple of rows in my front flower beds. Just hey, Cherie, made some rows in my flower beds out front just to see if they'd take in there too, just to kind of divvy it up a little bit. Um, you know, we'll see if they pop out in a flower bed. But I plan to transfer my little growing seed pots to the rectangular size bins once they get established here. Still got some weather, that's coming through and stuff. So okay, all right, just listening. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. Um, so I plan to transfer those starting pots into my rectangular bins whenever they're ready. Like I said, the storms are still coming through and stuff, so I don't want to get anything ruined or waste my time and money losing them. So I wanted to at least get that started. So I think I went. So here's what I went with. I went with the cherry tomatoes, zucchini, some like long stem onions, cucumbers, jalapenos, spinach, and bell peppers. That's what I grew. Again, it's getting ready to be really, really hot down here, and you have to really baby your garden, or it won't make it. You gotta. And I'm not a super green thumb type person, but um, little things I'm okay with, but I don't have a full size garden or anything like that. I just want to try to get some stuff established. But the border, the open border and the all that comes with it, all the bad that comes with it, there is actually zero good that comes from an open border. And thanks, Ship. See you later. Appreciate it. Um, there's nothing good coming from an open border. It's not good for the people coming across it because they've had to endure all kinds of uh, evil and you know hardship along the way. And I know that they all get told the same thing: just make it to the border. Just make it to the border. Once you get across the border, you're good. And I'm not saying that people are wrong for wanting to come to America, right? And if I was in their position, I would want to come to America too. But you know what? And it sucks to say this, but life ain't fair, and some people just get crapped on, and it's not right, but it is what it is. And life ain't fair. Some people get the short end of the stick, and that's all they're going to get. And it's not anything that we did as a country. It's just the way the God has got it set up. And I feel fortunate that we're in a country that, at least for now, that has some semblance of, uh, light. But it's going to come from people like us, not the feds or anybody that carries their water. It's going to come from us. Yeah, dragonflies, exactly. And I've said it for a long time. And I think it's very true. Until we fully militarize the border, it's not going to change. See you, Tamara. Thank you for coming by. Until we militarize the border, it's not going to change. And when I say militarize the border, I'm talking about every damn yard of it. Now, I'm not telling you that we got to have soldiers shoulder to shoulder, but we need active military patrols along that border 24/7. It's a lot different than it was 40 years ago. 40 years ago, you had levels of corruption and bad people, in Mexico and beyond coming across that border, but it wasn't anything like it is today. Yeah, that too, Tim. And that's why you're seeing an assembly at the borders now. Until we get that border patrolled 24/7, it's not going to change. And I watched several reports over the last few days. Hey, Christina. Several reports over the last few days that showed these buses dropping off military age males from the border and processing them into the country. They all had nice new hoodies on, didn't look very destitute to me, had fresh haircuts. Again, what's happening? Hey, Jerry, what's happening is you have a complicit government, that wants to further destabilize the country economically, morally, and physically. And by physically, I'm talking about crime, obviously drug trafficking, child trafficking, sex trafficking, etc. All the food groups, right? They are complicit. Not compelled. They are an accessory. An accessory. And it's by design, and it's being engineered to further destabilize the country so they can institute their version of America, which ain't for us. Yeah, it's pretty sick, isn't it? Good to see you, Barb. It is aggravating, people. It is aggravating, but as sad as it is to see, and I'm not again advocating giving up, but what I'm telling you is it is what it is. Okay. And you have to prep to try and insulate yourself, from these animals. And if you don't need them, they can't reign power over you. What they've gotten Americans used to is comfortability. See, we've gotten fat and happy on cheap goods, people doing things for us, and conveniences. You've got people out there that honestly cannot change a light bulb. It's too much effort. It's too much trouble. That's beneath them to try to change the light bulb out. I mean, that's a little extreme, but it does exist. I've seen it. And it's a good point, Christina. People need to see. You don't have to embrace the change or the reasons for the changes, but you've got to adapt to it. Yeah, they can. I know when I go out and do my yard work or cut my own grass, people look at me like, what's this animal doing? What a scumbag. He mows his own grass. What a jerk. It's just, it's all ass backwards. I've always been the type of person that if I can do it myself and save the money, I'm going to do it myself, within reason. You know, I'm not going to I'm not going to do something that is unsafe for me or anybody else, but if it's something I can reasonably do safely and myself with a little effort and a little ingenuity and save the money and save the expense, I'm going to do it myself. Now, again, I understand not everybody was brought up that way. And some people are incapable of doing things because of a disability or whatever. There's certain things that some people just can't do physically. But, Copycat said it. We need to get back to the way the old ways and be able to be strong and do things ourselves. I go on job sites from time to time and I deal with a lot of Hispanic workers, you know, and I'll kind of get in there. Not that that's my job to get in there and work with them, but I will get in there and work with them and maybe show them something because I'm, in the industry. And I'll show them something from a technical perspective that I know that they're doing wrong, or try to maybe just have them, convince them that their way is improper, to try it this way. And they'll be like, oh, wow, this gringo knows what he's talking about. But there's so few Americans that go out and do anything nowadays, is it's shocking to them that some, you know, gringos, if you will, get out there and do the work. I do like to mow. Physically, like I said, being in the army took its toll on me, like so many others. But I thank God that I have the ability to mow and trim the lawn and et cetera, and do the flower beds and stuff. But it does hurt, and I can get my yard cut real cheap, and I did last year because it was just a bad year for me, and you know, but I'm a little bit better off now, and so I'm getting back to doing it myself, and it is what it is. I sort of like it, the therapy of it, if you will, getting out and sweating a little bit, and putting some hard work in. Even though it's a small yard, I do feel good about doing it. And it's good for me to get out there and get some exercise in, especially in the heat now in July and August. It sucks, you don't even have to do any work to sweat outside, but it is good to, expend some energy now and then. That's good, Danielle. And that's the thing about kids. If you can get them out there and get them in the garage tinkering with tools or whatnot, and have them involved like they're accomplishing something, they'll kind of grow up looking into doing that kind of stuff. Mercado Mills. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. It's awesome, chicken noodle. And it builds confidence in kids, you know? These kids need confidence today. Metcalf Mills. Okay. Get them off the devices and show them how to do something. Maybe you show them how to pull weeds or, uh, I don't know, pick up trash or sweep or uh, it could be anything. Take out the trash. I mean, there's just all sorts of things that kids can be helpful with and get a sense of community. But if you don't get them off the devices to learn it, they're going to get their education online, and that's the last thing that you really want. With what's coming in this country, your kids need to go native on a lot of stuff. Good for you, Cherie. Good for you. I know so many of y'all probably do that, and that's awesome. But we got to go back to the native ways of doing stuff, and just teaching them how to think for themselves. And like, so there's so much stuff online that is camouflaged to look like a children's, themed uh, site or story or videos or whatnot, and it's so evil. You really have to pay attention. I catch some stuff from time to time where it looks like, "Now this looks pretty harmless or whatever," and it's totally evil and totally inappropriate for children, but it's under the guise of child friendly material. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great too. Give them a sense of you know community and responsibility, and praise them when they do it so they get something out of it. You'd be surprised what kids will hang on to growing up. Yeah, it's awesome. Now, I'm not telling kids to not have dreams either. You know, I'm a firm believer in making your own way and exploring your dreams. And if you got a goal in mind, go for it. Don't lose sight of your goals. But there's also a thing called work ethic that's going to help them achieve their goals. That's all right. At least he's doing something. But as we get older, it's harder on the body. But we still like I love getting on a tractor and just mowing, pastures. You know, I probably should have started that as a retirement, plan years ago. But I really get a lot of therapy out of that. So even just push mowing my own yard, even though I have a self-propelled mower now, a little cheating there, but again, compensating for some physical issues, uh, pain and ailments as we get older. It does help a little bit. Hmm. It's so true, Mary. And I bet a lot of y'all have kids and grandkids in here. When you tell them stuff, they go, I know," like they know. But sometimes, it's like, and I was no different. I'm not going to sit here and say I was different, but if I think that would be the ultimate goal of parents is if they could get their kids to learn from their mistakes that they made growing up, how much better off they would be. But some people are listeners and some people are learners, right? So those that usually listen avoid mistakes of others, and the learners have to learn from their own mistakes because they didn't listen. Uh, yeah, I see. I hear you, Chicken Noodle. But you know what? Sounds like they've got a great foundation, and I don't think you're going to have much to worry about. But you will probably miss them. But it fades over time. Having been there myself with two of them, it fades over time. But it is what it is. You'll see them. But the open borders deal is a real thing, people. It's a problem. It's going to affect everybody in the country, coast to coast. And the drug trafficking aspect of it is just one of many other aspects. And it is a continuing, it is the continual exacerbation of America and the destruct or this destabilization of the way that we live in America, economically, morally, and physically. And this is their goal, and it's all part of them getting it, of them using it as a fulcrum to enact what they see as the new America, new world order, the Great Reset. It's all part of it. It all goes hand in hand. Whew, that's a long way, Chicken Noodle. But luckily, you've got all the technology to stay in touch. That's right. That's funny, Lee. Yeah, I've heard that before. Hey, I got nothing against ramen, brother. We're all going to be eating a lot of ramen here for long. Just got to watch the sodium. Oh, geez. But y'all go check out Cold War Prepper if y'all aren't subscribed to his channel. He's got a lot of good content, man. He does a lot of hands-on prep hauls and has a lot of good information. And I if you don't subscribe to Lee over Cold War Prepper, I would definitely do that. I watch his videos every day. Sometimes don't get to him till the nighttime, but um, I like his videos, and he's got a lot of good content. So definitely check out Cold War Prepper, and you'll learn a lot. And I consider myself a pretty credible person, and try to talk about you know relative topics, and I like to watch people that are credible and have real life experiences. And number one, that, and number two, and more importantly, being able to articulate it well. And he's really good both of those. So I would definitely watch Cold War Prepper. He's a really up and coming channel, and you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot from him, and he's easy to listen to as well. So definitely go over there and check him out if you will. And of course, I love gaining new subscribers too. If you haven't subscribed, please do. My videos aren't all that glamorous, but it is what it is. This stuff is so watered down a lot of times that I don't want to just get on here and regurgitate something else somebody else talked about. And so I don't normally put stuff out every single day. I want it to try to be, on topic and try to be credible, as well. So I don't want to beat a dead horse or just roll over the same old topics that everybody else does. I do tend to stick to the security aspect of things just because that's my background. And of course, the the prepping is part of it. But so I sort of touch on a lot of different areas, and prepping is one of them. So I do appreciate all y'all showing up. I do appreciate the interaction. I enjoy the chats and the kind words, of course, and learning from you guys as much as I hope you're learning from me from time to time. So I'm gonna get on out of here and take care of some stuff today. But please don't think that if you don't live on a border state that the border is not going to affect you, because it's coming. And there's already a lot of evil taking place and getting those people here and distributing them across America. Not all of them are bad, but there is a lot of evil with regards to these cartel sleepers that are being pumped in here to help network their evil empire throughout the veins of America. So keep an eye on the border, people. Keep prepping. Don't stop. Stack it deep. And always remember, long live the Republic. Y'all take care now. Check you later.